Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is, well, let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, February the 1st is National Baked Alaska Day, National Freedom Day. That's from freedom from slavery, so that's pretty cool. National Get Up Day, National Serpent Day, National Texas Day, and Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Then on Sunday, the 2nd of February, it is Groundhog Day. It's National Tater Tot Day. It's Groundhog Day. It's National Heavenly Hash Day, and it's Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day.
I see what you did.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what that's all about, there's a movie called Groundhog Day where it just keeps happening over and
most people know.
over and over and over. Also, a big weekend. We got a football game that a lot of folks are going to be watching. We're going to chat a little bit about that because we're going to be talking to Jill Rappaport. She's been with the Puppy Bowl for many, 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 many years. And about 3 years ago, she started a new thing on Animal Planet called the Dog Bowl. We're going to chat all about that in just a bit.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A study by Penn State University found that American households waste 1/3 of their food. Oh, that is sad.
That's true. I would agree with that.
You think we waste a third?
Oh, yeah.
No
I
way.
think we do.
A third?
Probably.
I would say maybe like 10%. You know, I don't think we waste a third of it. That just seems like a big number to me. And if it is, we need to really, really quit doing that. That is just sad. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At BetterCreditCards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. A man from Utah was arrested when police found almost $4 million worth of illicit drugs in his car. Whoa, that's a lot of drugs.
That is a lot of drugs.
30-year-old Logan Lewis Peterson was pulled over. It says here he appeared extremely nervous during the stop, and canine units assisted, and they we're making whatever canine units do when they say there's drugs. Found 6 one-gallon jugs weighing a total of 66 pounds filled with a liquid substance that tested positive for meth.
Gross.
66 pounds of meth. 6 bricks of cocaine, which weighed 13.2 pounds. 1,000 packages of candy infused with THC.
Oh, my God.
That weighed 206 pounds. 2.2 pounds of MDMA. Authorities say the street value was somewhere almost $4 million, like $3.7 million. He was arrested, charged with multiple felonies. Station said he's being held at the detention facility. And somebody somewhere is waiting for their drugs because there's no way that was all his.
Wow.
He was just delivering, I'm sure. That is a terrible idea, by the way. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Robert De Niro claims that his ex-assistant once threatened to write a memoir exposing his darkest secrets. And the little that you just made, most people 10 years ago would never have done that.
No, I know.
But there's so many people nowadays that are like, this guy's insane.
Yeah,
Robert De Niro, I used to absolutely adore him.
Yeah, so did I.
And the sad thing is, he's
He's lost
lately.
his mind.
Well, and it's like he's really angry and mean to people, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't understand that. You know, even if you disagree with whoever you disagree with, be nice about it. Just don't do that. And this, I don't know if this really fits here. Maybe it should have been somewhere else, but because it's about something to do with Star Wars, I put it here. A $26 million Los Angeles mansion is for sale right now, and it comes complete with a replica of the Star Wars cantina.
Oh, our son would love that.
Our son would. And well, there's a lot of people. Think about this. Or think about how many people that are fans of that movie franchise that have done well for themselves that are going, wow, I got to live somewhere.
Yeah, and I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, if you're in the position to do a $26 million home, I mean, I bet they're going to probably sell this home to somebody. So, I don't know.
Well,
Interesting
somebody
stuff.
will buy it. They might not necessarily want the Star Wars cantina.
Oh, no. I think that'll be the reason they buy it.
Oh, you think so?
Seriously.
I think most people that are probably into that probably can't afford it.
I disagree
twice.
100%.
Do you
Thanks
really?
for listening. Today's Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at TimeForRehab.com. That's TimeForRehab.com.
Now your scoop of the day, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. Students across the USA have submitted more than 28,000 potential names for the NASA Mars 2020 rover. A panel of 4,700 volunteer judges whittled that list down to 155 semifinalists. That list was whittled down to 9. And now, very soon, they just finished. This story says today is the last day to vote. This story is from last week, so I guarantee you can't still vote. But I think it'll be interesting to see what the name is, considering it came from 28,000 students. Mm-hmm. What did we send to? I'm not even going to say on the radio the things that I'm thinking because, well, you couldn't say them on the radio. We'll just say that. So hopefully there was something good. A New York City subway train was evacuated after bed bugs were discovered on the subway.
Oh.
How does that work? Where would the bed bugs be?
Do the seats have cushions?
No.
You wouldn't think so.
No, I don't know where these bed bugs were. Anyway, they discovered bed bugs and they evacuated the train. So, Utah woman was arrested for being topless in front of her stepchildren. So I'm kind of wondering how that all went down.
Oh.
So, and it doesn't say, at least in this little headline that I have, the age of the children. So I have no clue. But there is a link if you want to read it. Here's how much I care. I'm scrolling past. The United States government is evacuating their citizens from Wuhan, China. This coronavirus is continuing to spread. 56 million people quarantined in China. Says it could lead to a rash of new pregnancies because all these people are like, hey, where are you from? How often you come here? Do you have the coronavirus too? I have no idea.
Are you healthy?
Chinese health authorities say nearly 2,000 people have been affected in just the first week there.
Jeez,
So,
that's really scary, isn't it?
That is very scary. Researchers say it's okay to eat new fallen snow. A professor at the University of Nevada, Reno, which, is known for their snow. No, they're not. Everyone should eat snow because it's really fun, Nolan says. The study goes on.
I used to when I was a kid all the time.
She studies snow, ice, and climate systems. She says most snow is just as clean as drinking water. To make their way from the cloud to the ground, cold water molecules have to cling to particles of dust or pollen to form ice crystals, and they grow into snowflakes in the process. She says these tiny little particles are the same ones you breathe in. And she says as snowflakes fall, they have a harder time picking up soot and other air pollutants than raindrops, so it's better to eat snow than to drink rain. Who did this study? And why? I just love the
I
thing.
used to eat snow all the time. You just can't eat the yellow snow.
No, don't do that. I love how the official research story starts out with, it's fun to eat snow. Like, wait a minute. What are you guys
Those are scientists.
What are you guys doing back there? One last story here, and then we're going to scroll on to the next thing here. The Philadelphia Flyers mascot, Gritty, is being investigated for punching a 13-year-old boy.
Oh,
what happened there?
Jeez.
You see these mascots quite often
they
interacting
get
with the crowd.
silly and-
So I don't know what happened where you would say, I'm punching a 13-year-old kid.
Well, the kid was probably messing with him.
But
and
yeah,
pushing
still,
him around.
even if I don't know what happened, whatever happened, it's still not okay to do that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Student loan debt is out of control for many people. Are you one of them? The average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to $40,000 in student loans. Believe it or not, 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have several different student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you have only one student loan, we may be able to offer you a better rate to help you get that loan paid off sooner at singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. This weekend is like a big weekend because we've got this big football game that everybody's been talking about, and I'm going to be visiting right now with Jill Rappaport all about it. We're talking about, no, not that one, the Dog Bowl. How you doing, Jill?
I call it the best fur ball game. It is, to me, the most heartwarming hour on television because, as you know, I'm part of Puppy Bowl every year, and those adorable puppies have been around. This is year 16, yay. And I came up with the idea for Dog Bowl, and we're back for year 3. It's Puppy Bowl for seniors, for older pets, and up until now, every single one of our older pets has gotten a forever home. I cannot tell you this is the greatest gift. I'm just can't believe I'm back for year 3 talking about this. I'm pinching myself, and I want to be back for year 16 like Puppy Bowl.
This is such a cool thing.
We have over 63 adult dogs this year, ranging in ages from 3 to 18, and they all got along. They're beautiful. They're vibrant. They're wonderful. I like to tell the story about Carly. I call her our poster pooch. For Dog Bowl. This year we did a first. We have our first Dog Bowl Hall of Fame, and we brought back some of our special senior superstars, including Carly, and she was literally dumped, John, at 16 and a half. Her owners gave her up because they put right in writing, she's too old. They actually put that on the application. And I was so touched by her story because Florida Little Dog Rescue took her in. They decided to post her without listing her age because she's so beautiful and looked so young and vibrant. They had inundated with requests until they heard the age, and then click, goodbye, pass. And she was in Dog Bowl last year, not even 20 minutes in. Lori had over 40 requests for her. She got a forever home. She is now 18 years young and thriving. The owners call her Dorian Dog Gray because she's like getting younger. And this is what I try to tell people. Don't look at the age.
Exactly.
None of us know how long anybody's going to be around for. And I can tell you, having out of my 6 rescues, 5 are super seniors, when you take in an older pet, they thrive, and they often live way past their expiration, what you thought was their expiration date. Like, oh, I'll be lucky to get to 12 or 14 or 16. I've told friends to go older. They have dogs now well into their teens because they're now taken care of. They know they've been saved in the twilight of their lives, and they thrive.
Absolutely. Just because they're a couple years older doesn't mean that wouldn't be a perfect dog for somebody. And there are people out there that are probably more well-suited for that dog than they would be for a puppy anyway.
Let me tell you something. Families that have newborns, babies, you want to have a puppy, it's another baby.
Yeah.
And, literally, I work with a lot of shelters, and very closely. And I would tell all the shelters, please make sure if a senior person comes in, you don't want to adopt out a puppy to a senior person for a number of reasons. If, they're compromised in any way, their eyesight or their hearing, they could trip over that puppy. Puppies get under your feet. They run in and out of your legs. I cannot tell you how many older people have tripped over young puppies, dogs, a year and under, and have broken their hip, have broken their knee, have fallen. And, you just have to, it doesn't make sense. And the biggest thing, if somebody is, well into their 80s or possibly even 90s, and you give them a very young dog, if the puppy outlives them, what happens to that dog? What if they don't make provisions, for that animal, and they pass on? They end up back in the shelter system. So, it's a shelter's job to make the right match. I always say that, senior people, and not necessarily senior dogs either, but definitely middle age, that's a great match. Teenagers are great with senior dogs. They have the energy, and they can, help them get around, and they also have the time. And, you just want to use common sense. And, again, they make the best pets. You know this. And it's like society. you don't want, and we don't want people to look at us and say, oh, you're over 50, you're not good for that job. You could be the best person in the world for that job. But if they're looking at your driver's license and they don't give it to you, is that right? No. Well, these dogs could be the best pets in the world. And just because on paper it lists them as older and then, well, you just pass them by, and so many end up being lifers. They never get out of the shelters because of their age. And they could be and are the most wonderful, loving animals in the world. But just because they're a little older, they don't get a shot at a home. And it breaks my heart. And that's why I had to do this show.
So the Dog Bowl year 3. But in dog years, that's like 21, right?
21? Yes, exactly. Well, that's our, yes, but we also want to be around for Dog Bowl in human years, year 21. That would be the best. But I can tell you, they are, when you get an older pet, it's like, and trust me, I have dogs up to 18. One is coming in to be with me today for my press I'm doing in New York City, and literally, she was running around my apartment. I had to chase her around the apartment. She's 18. So I can tell you that they are such a joy. They sleep when you want to sleep. They hang with you. They've got that chill pill thing going on. They're couch potatoes until they're ready to go out, and then they're vibrant and fun and full of life.
Well,
they're often housebroken. And, my favorite saying I love to tell people, because it's so true, having lost a lot of furniture from young dogs, they'd rather sleep on the couch than eat the couch.
Nice. Well, Jill, thank you so much for all that you're doing to help these dogs, and thank you very much for reaching out and chatting with us as well.
Well, thank you for giving me the time to shine a light on what I think is the best hour and the best game on television, along with Puppy Bowl this weekend.
Again, our guest has been Jill Rappaport. She is with the Puppy Bowl and the Dog Bowl, which airs on Animal Planet this weekend. All of the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Do you have a lucky shirt? FunkyMonkeyShirts.com has several lucky shirts to wear next month for St. Patrick's Day. Or if it's a really lucky shirt, you can wear it every day. Green shirts, 4-leaf clovers, Irish sayings, and more. Don't wait. If you order your lucky shirt right now, it can be here in time to wear for St. Patrick's Day. Find t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more at FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. That's FunkyMonkeyShirts.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
There is a decorated war hero dog. In the trenches of World War I, the 1st Infantry Division of the United States found themselves unable to communicate with other troops because of shell fire and damaged phone wires. A young private came up with a unique solution. Rags, a mixed-breed terrier whom the soldiers had adopted in Paris. Rags would carry messages from one division to the next, tucked in his collar. He saved many lives. When Rags passed away in Maryland at the age of 20, he was buried with full military honors.
Oh,
How
that's
cool is that?
awesome. I would think there's a lot more than just one.
Well,
dog
I'm
with
sure there
full military honors.
probably a bunch now, but I think Rags might have been the first.
Right.
So that's from World War
that's
I.
awesome.
That is awesome. And that is today's fun fact.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, some news headlines from somewhere in this world. Dateline, Thailand. Am I saying that right? You don't pronounce the H, right? It's not Thailand.
No, it's
okay.
Thailand.
I didn't think so. Thailand. You're looking
correct.
at me like I'm a dummy, but I don't know. In Thailand, police auctioned off a Honda CR-V, that's a vehicle, that they had seized in a drug bust. The buyer spent $19,000 on the vehicle, and then the mechanics were working on it, and they found $100,000 worth of amphetamine pills.
Oh.
Officials said they would conduct a more thorough search on vehicles in the future. So they seized the vehicle in a drug bust and then sold it with a bunch of drugs in it.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, sorry about that. We're gonna have to
We'll
maybe
look
go
closer.
through. Yeah, bad plan. This is bad news headlines from somewhere in this world.
It's a new year. Have you made a resolution to quit drinking or to finally get away from drugs for good? These are both habits that are hard to kick, but you can do it. We want to help you. TimeForRehab.com is here to help you find the help you need with your particular situation. If you want to make this year the year you get the help you need to live a normal life again, start with a little help from us at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. This hits close to home because we've done this before. A family was staying at an Airbnb property, which we've done before. We've stayed at a couple of them. This was in California, and they had a safety scare when their son, very young son, found a loaded gun. Yeah. It was just laying in a drawer in the room. John Segura, the boy's father, said it wasn't hidden. It wasn't stashed under a bed or anything. It was just in a drawer. The boy opened the drawer, pulled out a gun. The Lake Tahoe rental property was managed by Turnkey, posted on Airbnb. They called the police, who came and picked up the gun. They said it's a very unusual situation. The sheriff's office said they launched an internal investigation. Airbnb gave the family a full refund. The family says neither the company nor law enforcement have contacted them with an update. So they're like, we don't know why. We don't know what. So I'm not sure exactly why that was left there, if it was a former occupant of the place or if it was the people that own it. But I have a link to the story if you're interested. It's in the show notes. And it says there was also a badge, a deputy's badge. So they think that it was like a police officer, maybe stayed there. I don't know. I've got a link to all the info that I have anyway in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by SingleStudentLoan.com. Police investigating a burglary at a tobacco shop in Northern California had a little key piece of evidence that they got to use to help, crack the case. It was a video of a man falling through the ceiling. What? They said it happened in the middle of let's see, 6 a.m. is when it happened. Officers arrived at the scene. No signs of forced entry. No. Hi, Heidi. Hi. No signs of forced entry from the exterior of the building, but they discovered a man-sized hole in the ceiling, which is kind of a funny way to say he fell through the ceiling. They bored a hole through the ceiling from a vacant building that was above the business, and then they went in. They ended up getting some video footage of the people doing this. They got some tips after reviewing the video and tips from the community. They're pretty sure they got their person. So
they were breaking into where?
Into a place called Cheaper Cigarettes. So, or Cigarettes Cheaper or something like that. I don't know. It was a tobacco place. So they decided, hey, we're going to get us some real cheap cigarettes, and they came through the ceiling. And
not smart.
It was not a Mission Impossible style thing where they just come down gently on a little string. The guy just fell through the ceiling and hit the floor. So, bad idea. That is today's Moment of Duh.
When was the last time you got a new credit card? If you have a card that's been in your purse or wallet for a long time, you should check and see if you're getting the best rates. You may find a better credit card that will give you the points you want or cashback options you don't get right now. At bettercreditcards.com, you see all the major credit card companies and their best offers. Let them compete to earn your business. And if the one you have right now is better, keep it. Find a card that's a better fit for you at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, fake news or Florida? Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it made up to trick you and to amuse me?
All right,
here we go. Fake news or Florida? A Miami man with no arms was charged with stabbing a Chicago tourist. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
It is a true story. There's a lot going on in that story. Yeah. I thought for sure you would say, no, because usually that's what happens. When there's too much going on, it's made up.
Yeah.
But that was all for real. So, and it's a bizarre story. I have a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news. I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. And this is the headline here. It says, Minnesota will pay homeowners to replace lawns with bee-friendly wildflowers and clover. This is an interesting idea.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
So they're saying, hey, instead of mowing the lawn, why don't you do this? So it says Minnesota homeowners can benefit financially if they start letting their grass go to the bees.
I wonder if we could do that.
I don't know. The state has set. Don't you think I'm not Googling it? The state has set aside $900,000 over the course of the next year to assist homeowners by covering as much of the cost as they can to convert traditional lawns by planting wildflowers, clovers, and native grasses in an effort to slow the collapse of the state's bee population. It says here the goal is to provide food sources for pollinators of all kinds, but will specifically aim at saving the rusty-patched bumblebee, a fat and fuzzy species on the brink of extinction that seems to be making its final stand in the cities of the upper Midwest. So they're saying part of the reason these bees are dying off is because we're tilling over all of the wildflowers and we're building buildings there and parking lots and malls.
Right.
So they say, hey, if we kind of just, make some of this happen. So citizens living in the rust patch, is that what they call it? Rust? I didn't know that's what they call that. They say they're eligible for up to $500 in grants. People living in zones that are secondary are eligible for $350 grant, and then in the third, whatever it be, the outside area would be $150. So if you're right in the center of the rusty patched bumblebee zone, I didn't know that was even a thing.
So are you supposed to till up your lawn and then plant all this stuff?
I'm not really sure. I don't have all the details, but I have a link to the story if you want to read all about it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's a thing.
I don't know.
Here.
I will. I'll send you a link to the story, Heidi, because I would tell you can just read it on our page, but you never go there. She didn't even know we had a website. She's like, "What? We have a website?" If you want to read it, it's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.